Hey folks, welcome back for yet another build video and yet another build video with the NinjaBike messenger bag, because that's all I do now. So truthfully, this did not start off as a NinjaBike messenger bag build. For anyone who's been watching the channel for a while, you might recognize this as the Artificer 2.0 build that we put together a little while ago, with some slight modifications. So before we go into the build featured in the title screen, I do want to go over this quick variation of that build, which is much closer to the original Artificer 2.0 build that we put together. Again, many of you will recognize this: 4 pieces of Foundry Bulwark, the Catharsis mask, and then version 2.0 had the Forge holster. But after I put out that video and after I did a further testing, what I found was the Motherly Love gloves actually provide more shield health with that 10% skill health attribute than the Forge did with its 50% shield attribute. And while that sounds counterintuitive, that's due to the way that the multiplicative bonuses are added and when in the equation they are added. Suffice to say, as counterintuitive as it is, your overall shield health will be higher with the Motherly Love gloves than it was with the Forge. But on top of all of that, during my revisit of this build to update it with Motherly Love, I realized we have this wonderful new backpack, the NinjaBike messenger bag, that can do so much more for you as well. Now, the obvious downside of this bag is obviously the lack of a proper backpack talent, but given the backpack talent here only, and I put only in air quotes, increases makeshift repair speed from 15 seconds to 10 seconds, I felt that that was a place where we could improve this build by adding the NinjaBike messenger bag. Obviously, adding this backpack also means we had to get rid of the Catharsis exotic mask, and that's something I struggled with a bit more. So that's why I also did want to represent both what I'm calling version 3.0 and 3.1. Sorry for the naming. Because I think both versions are going to appeal to different people. Especially someone who doesn't want to use the NinjaBike messenger bag because it's showing up in so many builds right now. Version 3.0 is still really cool and potentially works even better. But what the NinjaBike messenger bag gives you is the opportunity to have even more offensive capabilities right off the bat. But before I get ahead of myself, let's start at the top of this build. We've gone with a technician specialization, specifically for the ability to use the Artificer hive down there in one of our skill slots. Our primary and secondary weapons, as with the old version, don't make a ton of difference because you won't be using them very often, but if you are, the Mops plus 10% armor on kill really feels nice with this much armor stacked on a build. And the same with Emmeline's Guard, perfect preservation talent feels really nice. There's an obvious theme with our primary and secondary. If you're switching to them, my thought is the idea is you're going to want to get armor on kill back. And so that's what the main focus of your primary and secondary weapons are. But your real primary weapon here is going to be your sidearm, and that is the wonderful Liberty exotic pistol. And we spoke about it before in the previous version of this video, but the talent Liberty or Death grants you 2% weapon damage on hits, stacking up to 30 times, giving you a maximum of 60% weapon damage, which roughly equates to 4 weapon cores there. So the weird thing with this build is you're not going to be hunting for headshots. You're going to want to keep your shots aimed at the legs or body. I normally go for chest shots with this build. That way you can maintain your 30 stacks, giving you 60% extra weapon damage on this build. Something that I feel is largely uncommon unless you're using this pistol is to get this much weapon damage on a shield build, because what that amounts to when you add that to the NinjaBike messenger bag and Karo's holster is 90% weapon damage. And while the Vicious Cycle talent on Catharsis also gave you an additional 30% weapon damage, the downsides of that were you obviously had to build that 30% by taking 30 hits on your shield or yourself. And on top of that, you couldn't really control when you triggered Vicious Cycle, given that its inherent use is by taking damage. Oftentimes, Vicious Cycle would just trigger, which was great. You do get that purge, repairing your armor, but what you lose is that 30% weapon damage, which ironically on a build where your shield is so powerful, the weapon damage was what I was hunting more than the purge to repair myself. But definitely when you're running in a group, version 3.0 with the Catharsis is definitely something you still might want. So this is the last time I'll reference both builds, 3.0 here with the Catharsis, 3.1 with the NinjaBike messenger bag. Version 3.0 is definitely a great way to go if you're in a group, or if you like the vicious cycle talent, if you find yourself needing that purge to remove status effects and heal yourself. Still an absolutely viable build, but I do wholeheartedly recommend this build over the previous version with the Forge, because of course that 10% skill health is going to give you higher shield health, and on top of that, the brand bonus here is now working for you with that extra 20% repair skills, buffing the Artificer Hive even more than we already have. But with that, let's really dive in here to version 3.1, which is the version with the NinjaBike messenger bag. So one of the main criticisms of shield builds is obviously it doesn't have enough damage output. That seems fairly obvious. You're sinking a bunch of your resources into building your armor and your shield tiers. You don't have much left over for your weapon. Now some of that is mitigated with the Liberty or Death talent, as we just talked about. You can get 60% weapon damage that you can maintain throughout an entire fight. And if you ever do need to heal your shield, you can always trigger a headshot, purging those stacks and repairing your shield. But given all of the repair skills and the skill tiers that we have stacked on this build, the Artificer Hive is actually doing a great job of repairing your shield while you're using it, meaning that the majority of the time you can just maintain the 30 stacks of Liberty or Death, keep that 60% weapon damage active all of the time. And now on top of that, you can get an additional weapon core with a NinjaBike messenger bag. And then as you can see down there in the bottom left, we have another weapon core with Pukaro's holster. So for our mask, we have our first of 3 pieces of Foundry Bulwark. And obviously that 4th piece is being covered by NinjaBike messenger bag. We've got that core attribute of armor. We rerolled repair skills, and we also have repair skills in the mod slot. For our backpack, we have the aforementioned NinjaBike messenger bag with the resourceful talent, filling that 4th Foundry Bulwark requirement, giving us additional freedom to add other pieces. For our chest piece, we have our 2nd piece of Foundry Bulwark here, armor, repair skills, and repair skills here. And then the talent improved materials increases the makeshift repairs from 20 to 30%. For our gloves, we have the aforementioned Motherly Love. As I mentioned, given the way that the bonuses are provided, that plus 10% skill health is more beneficial to you than that 50% shield health. And on top of that, we've got 20% repair skills and 20% skill duration from those 2 brand bonuses provided by the NinjaBike messenger bag. For our holster, we've gone with Pukaro's holster. Essentially 6 core attributes on 2 pieces of gear between the NinjaBike messenger bag and Pukaro's holster paired together. That 2nd brand bonus of skill tier is actually helping us out here, getting our Artificer Hive all the way up to a level 4 hive. And on top of that, we pick up a weapon damage core here. And then you can see we have repair skills rolled in that attribute slot. And then here on our Kneepads, we have our last piece of Foundry Bulwark combined with a NinjaBike messenger bag that gets us our 3 and 4 piece bonuses. And obviously unlocks the makeshift repairs talent, making your shield an absolute tank. As long as you are facing your enemies, you will not be taking damage. And on top of that, you even have enough weapon damage to run this solo if you so choose. And then for our skills, we have that aforementioned tank shield, the Bulwark ballistic shield. It obviously restricts your weapon use to only sidearms, but when we're rocking the Liberty, who really cares? As you can see there, we have a level 6 shield with 120% active regeneration. And then in the 2nd slot, we have that Artificer Hive doing work for us, repairing our shield even when it's clipped to our backpack. Reminder, you don't have to deploy this to have it active. As it says there, it periodically releases a drone that will repair your shield while you're using it. On top of that, if you do run with the special ammo directive on and you're going against Black Tusk, you can deploy this hive with the technician specialization. You are immune to disruption while you're within 5 meters of your deployed skills. So while it does pigeonhole you to a 5-meter area, so while it does trap you within a 5-meter radius circle, you can actually go up against Black Tusk here and keep your shield out at all times. So that's it. That's this build. We obviously hopped around a little bit, but I hope I didn't lose any of you. Just wanted to show you 2 different variations of this new and updated build, version 3.0 and version 3.1. Please, if you like this video, like it, subscribe if you want to see more like this, and please discuss in the comments, which version do you like better? Which one are you going to try out? Are you going to try them both out? If you do, let me know which one you like more. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.
detected.